What's up, wrestling and card collectors? Welcome to another edition of WTC TV. And today I have a very special guest today. You know what? I always say that every time, though, Pete. I say that every time. But you know what? They're all special. They're all special in our own unique way. I have Pete Lynch on, who's got an exciting new card set coming out. It's getting a good buzz. That is for ARW. Am I correct about that one, right?
Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. We're an independent show here in Florida, and yeah, the buzz has been awesome, man. I'm so excited to, I knew my friends around here were gonna, think it was cool, but to see the reaction, across the country has been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have a lot of guys in our, especially we have Chuckster. I mean, come on, we have the Chuckster. No one else has the Chuckster. We got the Chuckster. He's our lead guy for WTC stuff. And, he's an independent card collector, and he was buzzing about these right away too. All those guys, Caleb, Chuckster, Paul, there's a lot of guys out there who are really up on these independent cards like that. So anytime something comes out, they're all over it, man. They love this stuff.
Yeah. And again, I'm humbled. I mean, I've gotten to know all those guys through Twitter, over the time, but, to see that it came out and then it was like, wow, this set is really great. I'm like, wait a minute, that's mine they're talking about. It's really humbling. I guess that's the word. It's been very exciting. They're up for pre-order right now. We're hoping to have them a couple weeks. I guess mid-September they're supposed to be in. So as soon as they come in, we'll get them shipped out, and I can't wait for the world to get to see these cards.
Now we're talking. This is a 36 card set, correct?
That's right. Yeah, 36 cards, boxed set. Box set. So yeah, it's coming in a little box. I did get one in, so that's kind of your
nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're very excited about it. Just ARW trading cards on the side, but 36 cards in the box. Throw my thing around here. Yeah, with a lot of the up and comers that are on ARW, and then I got some of the people that we've brought into the shows over the last years or so that agreed to do it. And again, I would go up and say, hey, we're making a card set, and would you be interested in being in it? And almost everybody said yes. The reaction was like, I thought for sure people would say no. Like you're too big to be in our little local show, and they're like, no, we want to be in.
So that poses two questions for me now. You just got me to thinking here. So one, who the hell would say no?
Yeah, I guess
you don't have to. You don't have to name anybody. But why was it? What was the reason for saying no?
Well, one is a current or very recently former Impact champion.
Okay.
And he is having a card, or he has a card in Series 2 that is released right now.
Okay.
So the timing been a little bit differently, and my release was supposed to be August, September, which is the same time that their Series 2 card set just came out. So they Impact, I don't know whoever. That was the reason that he couldn't do it. Otherwise, I think if I had done it 6 months ago, or if I do it 6 months from now, I don't think we'll have an issue. But
didn't you have my boy came through your territory once, man? I mean, come on, we couldn't get him in.
Yeah, I was just we were talking about that. So Samuel Shaw, Dexter Loomis, actually took on Ryzen, who is the graphic designer that made our cards at our show here in Florida. It was a great match. He's a great guy, and unfortunately, I was finished with the set by the time he came in, and I
could have been a bonus card, man, like randomly inserted bonus card.
I should have pulled the trigger on it. He was a super nice guy, and that would have been awesome to have him, because I don't think he wrestled very many independent shows before he got signed back with WWE. So we would have had a really good opportunity there. And but now that we're making a card set and it's done, I am not going to miss an opportunity like that again. When there's somebody coming through, I'm getting the yes when I got him. We're not going to miss.
Yeah, I got one of these cards. Thank you so much. You sent me one of these cards I have here. It's a really, really nice looking card here. And I got to tell you, full bleed cards. I love them. They're awesome. Great bio information in the back. The logos, what you expect to see on anything. It's just a really neat design. How did this come about? Like, what was the inspiration for putting a card set together? And then of course, who came up with this cool design?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a card collector. The two things in my life that I've loved forever is professional wrestling and collecting cards. I'm 44. So 1988, I had my 7th or 8th birthday. My parents took me to my first wrestling match. I think 7-Eleven, we'd go and get a Slurpee after baseball practice, and they would sell the Topps packs in 7-Eleven. And I remember having stacks and stacks and stacks of these cards, which I have no idea where they are anymore. And I hope
Bet
one
you
day
wish you did.
he's gonna show up with a box somewhere, because I don't know what I did with the wrestling cards. That's what I'm kicking myself, because every time I see one of these cards sell now, it's like, oh man, I know I had that guy. I know I had that one. I'm sure they're not in the mint condition because I was a kid and I had fun. I played with the cards, but
Sure.
so anyway, I've been a collector forever, and I got involved with Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, I guess, a year and a half ago. Um, I've done marketing and entertainment for a long time now, and they had an audition for a ring announcer position. Um, I had been going to the shows for a long time. I applied. I actually got selected to be the ring announcer, and so that was a thrill. Now I'm involved in professional wrestling on the independent level. So we're working with the guys. I'm getting to know them, and they weren't making cards, and I'm like, why are like, I would like to get your card and have you sign it. And I have a 12 and a 16-year-old kid, and they would like to have your card and have you sign it. So what's going on? And I think Kim at Ignite in Florida here, she made cards for her people, and some of the people that would come through had worked for her. And so I'm like, those are really nice. Like, what are we doing? Like, why aren't we having our own set? And then I met Chris from Raw Deal IndyCard. So really, I can't thank him enough for how great he's been. So he came to one of our shows. He made a couple cards for some of the wrestlers that wrestle at our shows. Teal Piper, Roddy Piper's daughter, had a card. I think the one you had right there, Money Making Shay, had a card. Red Velvet, who's in AEW now, she was wrestling with us. She had a card. And I really got talking to him, like, hey, what's your process? How did you go through it? Like, how are you, working it out? And he does really good, because they make the cards and they give them to the wrestlers, and you have to buy them through them. And I started to try to collect all the cards, but it was difficult sometimes because some of the people wouldn't answer their messages and all that kind of stuff. So I said, all right, if we're gonna make a set, I want to make a complete set where people can buy the whole thing. So that was kind of it. I love the cards that he was making, and I said, all right, well, we need to get together. I decided on a 20 card set, and then I think we had Matt Taven, who's now in Impact. He said yes, he would be in the set. I'm like, okay, now I got another one. Now I'm over. And the printing company that we use, it was 1 through 20 cards, and 21 through 28 cards, and then 28 through 36 cards, or however, like, that's their printing zone for the same price. And we got to 28 cards, and then somebody else came through, and we had to make another one. I'm like, I have to stop, because this will be 100 card set, if it goes any longer. And
it's a good problem to have, actually, because it means you have a lot of people who I want to be in this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was very exciting. And, but I was just like, all right, we have to eventually cut it and get this thing out, because I was financing the whole thing myself. So I'm like, all right, we got to cut it and finish it off. But, a couple things with the set. So as a collector, if I'm putting my name on it, I wanted it to be awesome. So Roland is the photographer. He lives by us. He goes by Tusslemania on Instagram and Twitter. He is a world-class photographer. He goes to GCW shows. If you guys aren't following Tusslemania on Instagram or Twitter, do it, because he puts clips up there that are absolutely amazing. So he goes to GCW. He was recently at the Wrestling Revolver show with Sami Callihan. He goes all over the place, but he is a world-class photographer, and we're lucky that he lives in Melbourne, Florida, and comes to our shows. Shauna is another photographer. She comes out, fan as well. And so I was super lucky to have 2 great photographers that I knew I could get great images. So with a wrestling card, you need great images and a great design. Ryzen, who's one of the wrestlers with us, he's been on AEW and a bunch of those different shows as well. And he's a graphic artist by trait as well. So he came up with the design. We talked about it, and he put out the first card, and I was like, okay, we really have something here. Now, we got to go. And, I went to every wrestler that we had, and I said, look, here's the deal. I want to make cards. I don't know how other companies do it as far as paying people. Like, I wasn't sure how that portion of it worked. So my agreement with everybody was that I would print 250 cards. So 200 of them were going to be box sets that we could sell. And I would give every wrestler 50 cards that they can sell on their own. So people can buy it at their merch booth whenever they go to their shows or whatever. So I didn't have to worry about trying to find a percentage later on and what I owe this person and what I
Here
owe
goes
that
my
person.
question about print runs.
Oh, yeah. I knew that was a thing too, because I don't want over print run. I wanted it to be, collectible and people want to have it. So that's the thing. So we're making 200 box sets that will be for sale, but the total print run, and we'll never make any more, is 250. If it goes well, and so far the response has been great, I assume we'll make a series 2 or
Here
an
goes my
extended.
second follow-up question. Man, you're just
I think
killing them all.
I'm really kicking myself. Like, I don't know how soon, like what the process is, how quickly you can turn it around, because our next show is October 7th in Melbourne. We have a couple pretty big people coming to that show too that have already told me that now that they've seen these cards that they would love to be a part of it. And I'm like, all right, well, how quickly do we really turn around another set? Like,
Well, you
I
can
don't want.
kind of get it. You can still kind of get it in, in the process. Doesn't have to come around the same time, but you can still have it in process like that.
We're
Because I was,
definitely in the
I,
process. Like Loomis, I am not going to miss on, if
I,
we get.
I was checking out. I was checking out some of the stuff for Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling, and I saw like the designs. I'm assuming that he does all the graphic work too for all your flyers and stuff like that.
We have a couple different people that do graphics. So Corey, he's our executive producer. He does the television show, which is on Fight TV. So every Thursday, the Fight TV. So Corey does that. We do have another guy that does the like group flyer with everybody on it for the monthly thing. So there are a couple of people that chip in. So I couldn't tell you that Verizon's.
Well, I saw the graphics for that Blood, Sweat, and Fears 3.
That'd
be a cool looking card set.
I already said the same thing to Alex Red, our CEO. I was like, this is really nice. All I need to do is put their name on the bottom and take off all the, the ticket sale information, and the card is done.
It's done.
It's really done. And maybe that is a thing. So I did think that the next time we did a set, that I would like to do a event special set, so like.
Because I think ICW for their No Holds Barred does one for almost every event they do now, and it sells out every time.
Yeah, right. And so maybe that, but it's so much easier because all the photography could be right there. I mean, I went through 2 years of, thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures to like decide what we want to do. And I said, all right, well, if we do a Blood, Sweat, and Fear set, and I can have a backdrop set in the back, we can take a posed picture for the front. We can get an action shot, because I also wanted the back of the cards to, to look really nice too. So we do have an action shot on the back as well. Yeah, like here's
I got that one right here too.
There you go. So this is Ryzen's card right here. I don't know if you can see very good, but on the back, he's kicking somebody right there and doing.
Yeah, nice.
I think if we did a event set special set, then it would be so much easier, because then I have the picture for the front and the back, and then I don't need to worry about it. A lot less work, I think, going through the picture. But I definitely wanted to make sure that the picture quality was great.
And you keep your print runs low. They're only available for the show, so you have a few left over to sell online.
Right. Yeah. Now that's definitely something we are discussing. But yeah, the initial reception has been very well. So I was like, well, if I make my money back, at least if we break even, then let's go. Like I'm happy to do it again. Yeah. So we're halfway there probably. And
it's amazing to me when there's so many independent promotions out there who, well, now it's become more commonplace. We're seeing a lot more independent produced trading cards, but still there's a lot more out there that don't do them. And it's just such an affordable way to promote your product beyond just your local market. So people from all over as you're experiencing, you got people all over the country, probably globally, that are like, I want to get a set.
It's really cool to see, like, when the orders come in, like, how does this person in California, like we're in Florida, how do they in San Francisco, California, know anything about? That's the magic of the internet. It's just, it's really cool, because it's like, and I think for the show, it's also helping our brand. Our numbers for the Fight TV show this past week were higher than they've been in a long time. And the only thing that's really different is that, there's some buzz right now on Twitter and on Instagram about this, like, well, who the heck is ARW? What the heck is ARW? Let me check it out.
Which is something I talked about with Kim. You mentioned Kim Artlips like that, which I've had her on, and she's a very good promoter like that in that respect. I mean, she knows she understands the art of promotion in that respect. And she was very clear that her #1 selling item that she has sold has been trading cards.
I did see that. Now I know the hot sauce and the dry rub that she has is pretty good too, though, because
Yeah.
we've had, you know, but as far as turnaround, it's right because like I said, I have two kids that would go to the wrestling matches, and you know, what can I grab that's affordable? You know, an 8x10 picture for a lot of people is 10 or 15 bucks, but their cards, you know, $3, $5, something like that. Let me get that and get them to sign it.
Yep.
So it's definitely it's something affordable. It's cool. You know, you're gonna keep that for a long time.
We hope you do.
I hope you do. I hope you do. Maybe unless it's too good, then you decide you need to sell it and then come buy another one. You know,
There you
that's
go.
fine
Are you
too.
seeing any you're talking California, we're sticking within the country. Are you seeing sales at all for you outside the country too? That would be pretty impressive
We
too.
had one sale in England. That's the only one I think so far. But they bought two.
Oh, there
They
you
bought
go.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I'm not limited. I don't care. You can buy it wherever. I'll send it anywhere. But
I know
uh,
that I'm looking forward to actually getting an official checklist done, so I get that put together. And I love, it's become part of more of my hobby over the last couple of years now, is gathering the information. Like I collect extra Loomis. People know me as a Loomis guy. It's like that,
yeah,
and a
yeah.
Kurt Angle kind of person. But for me, my hobby really is gathering information and keeping making sure that WTC is still always going to be the place that people go to get the information on their card sets. And with so many independent card sets out there, official, unofficial, I don't care. I just report the accidents. I don't make them. And I just want to get it all archived on there because people want to know, what do I have? Oh, like, one of the people I saw you have is Renee Michelle. Like,
Mm.
that's somebody that, I've seen her before. I'm originally from SoCal, so I'm a Southern California boy. So I used to watch her wrestle all the time for AWS, for Bart's promotion out in AWS all the time. So like, oh, I know that name. Now she's getting a trading card. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, and she's awesome. She actually just won our women's championship, so she's our women's champion right now. Her card is awesome, by the way. I don't have one of the test cards in yet of hers, otherwise I'd show you that. But her card is great. Um, she's great. She's a great help in the back as well. Obviously, she's got some family in the business and
Yeah,
that knows some things. So she's been really good with helping with our timing on the matches and everything like that. So she's a huge asset, not only in the ring, but to the locker room in the back as well. And just great person, great to
that's
have.
awesome.
Um,
And again, when do you expect this set to be actually officially released?
so they're supposed to be here like by the 15th of September.
Okay.
That's the plan. So the day they come in, I have everything. Like I have a bunch of her boxes all labeled up and ready to go. So I mean, the day that I get them, they'll probably be going out the very next day, if not that afternoon.
This is going to be a strictly 36 card base set. There's no autographs. There's no special
There's
bonus stuff.
Right. There's not. And I got to figure out how these other guys do that because, again, I financed the whole thing on myself. And when we printed them, the price break is at 250 cards, where it really made it affordable. So if you make any less than 250 sets, it's almost not double, but close to double the price.
Mhm.
So like even Impact makes the three sets, the 300. There's 100 autographed cards of each one.
Yep.
I'd love to do something like that, but the price went, drastically higher,
Yeah.
when I looked at doing that. So on my budget, right now, I couldn't do that. But if this set goes good and we do make money, I would love to be able to include an autographed card or a chase card or, something like, because as a collector, I want that too.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that, I didn't do. So all 36 cards are in the set. Those are the 36. We're not making.
All right, card collectors. That means you have to get out there and buy this set, make it a success, because we want Series 2 to have at least something cool in it as well. Little throw
Series
in.
2 is definitely going to have some cool stuff in there. I've already talked to some of the guys, and that's definitely a plan. Is there will be an autographed card for sure. I just got to figure out how that all. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're definitely going to figure it out. There will be something, or it'll be a limited card, or a variant, or some form of chase.
So,
come and
yeah,
get.
and that's the thrill of the chase, man. But that's also the beauty about the other side of independent cards, because they're complete base sets. I don't have to go after very much stuff. There's some guys out there that don't like this multi-tiered parallel type stuff. I'm having fun with it, which is completely unheard of me to even say that, because a year and a half ago I was so anti-parallel. But
Yeah.
now I'm actually having a lot of fun chasing the parallels now. I can see the value of that fun there. But that's a beautiful thing about having an independent card set, is that it's a small set. I pay one price, I get the whole thing, and I'm good. And I've collected it. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
We went back and forth on like how it should be distributed. Like packs have become very popular as well. That Blitzkrieg that they didn't make enough, but they
gonna
did.
mention that, but I don't want to start any controversy there. I love to talk
But
to those guys. I want to talk to them.
because I was in we were working on this way before that, but they, regardless of how many they made, they came out with packs. And so even if you bought the 5 packs, you weren't guaranteed to get everybody.
Yeah.
I collected Masha Slamovich. That's actually how I got into independent cards, and I met Caleb and everything like that, because through Raw Deal IndyCard, they had made a card of her. So we reached out to her, hey, can we buy your card? And she was the first person of everybody to reply to us. And I was like, yes, that'd be awesome. I'd love to send you one. So she sent us a card, and then we're like, oh, we got to find her other cards. So go onto your website. She has the GCW card. She's got all these other ones. And then I think I put a post up there. Hey, does anybody know if she has any other cards? And somehow Caleb wrote back. He's like, hey, well, she has this limitless card and blah, blah, blah. So I was able to track down one of those. I had every one of her cards. And then this Blitzkrieg set came out. And I was like, now there's 15 of them or 20, whatever the number was. And nobody's giving these things up.
No.
Like, how am I going to get this card? Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do now. And there's some great people in this wrestling card community. That's really probably my favorite part about it is, I don't want to name names for the fear of leaving somebody out, but so many people are out there that are willing to help you complete your set to get the card you need, and it's just so cool. So I was able to get one of those, which I was like, man, if I can't get this card, then why continue trying to get every one? Because now it's impossible.
You can't get them all, though. I mean,
well, no, I mean, not all the rainbow stuff, but like if there's at least 25 of them, I hope to be able to get one of them. But I don't know. Once they go mainstream, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my talks I've been having with Zan now. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm really happy that Cross is back in WWE, but now I got to prepare my wallet for getting all those parallels when he comes out, because he's a super collector, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's the hard one. So for the WWE, we collect Montez Ford. So we were at his first ever NXT when he first showed up, when he first signed. He was a security guard. So my daughter's probably 5 or 6 at the time, and we took pictures with all the security guards, because these guys are all trainer, wrestling and trainer, and we've gotten to know him. And even in 2018, so 4 years ago, they started making the 1 of 25, 1 of 10, 1 of 50. Even if they weren't different, we're like, oh my gosh, so I got to get 8 different cards of this guy in the same in order to get all of them. And then, I mean, I don't know, probably through your website, there's probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of his cards now. It's like,
I mean, who knows? I have to go do a search on the website and find out myself. So.
I'm just saying, it's a lot. So it's just neat how they put out a lot of cards. You think, oh, it's 1 of 10. Yeah, but there's also 1 of 25, and then there's a 1 of 50. So really, you got to get like 10 out of 250 or whatever.
I mean, I'm trying to do with the Panini Prism when it came out, and Loomis is in that, and there's probably, I think, 20 some odd parallels like that. I think maybe even more. I don't even know if I'm halfway there.
Yeah,
I'm probably about a little over halfway there.
I think it definitely makes it fun when you see a new one pop up. You're like, oh. I have eBay, like I have saved search terms,
Same.
So when I get the email, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah,
I got
same.
I'm good.
Yeah, well, at the time of this recording, I'll probably already have the card in by then, but I was super happy to just pick up. I got a Loomis number 25 of 25 of that new tie-dye one that came out for Select. Yeah. So I had seen, like, people. It's a fun thing about, you mentioned about this community. People they know what it is that you collect, and so they're willing to help you. And so I get messages, every few days or so like that. It's like, hey, you're the Loomis guy. Here's a link. I just saw it get listed. Like, wow, like, oh, I'm already watching that one, or I didn't even know it was up yet, and you mark it. And so someone had hit me up and goes, hey, Loomis tie-dye just can't hit the market. So I go, yeah, I know. I'm actually watching this one right now. It's grossly overpriced.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm just gonna watch it. And within like 30 minutes, that same person goes, hey, here's another one, and another one, and another one. And I mean, there was like 5 of them all in a row, like boom, boom. I go, oh my God, like, and they were all, the other ones were all starting at 99 cents, letting them run. I'm like, okay, I'm watching this one, and I'd lose and I'd lose and I'd lose. I'm like, okay, well, I got this number 25 of 25 now. Like, I'm probably gonna get that one. It's a good number to have, 25 of
Yeah,
25.
sure.
Oh no, like I must have come in and no one else was watching. It all just Loomised out, and I came in and got it for half the price everybody else was paying.
It is amazing, like how that works. Like sometimes, like cards will sell. Like I'll buy sets to fund my. I'll sell some cards on eBay to fund my. I don't think I've never made any money because I always spend it back on buying something else. But like you'll sell a card one week and it'll go for $5, and the same exact card will go for $25. Like
Yep.
a week later, it's like, what's the difference? Like, why didn't you buy it last week? Or it doesn't sell for 3 weeks on the thing, and then all of a sudden it's got 7 bids on it.
Yeah,
It's like
it's just all
that's
about who's watching and when. I mean, I just had this conversation with someone either on Instagram or Twitter, was asking me about, hey, do you have any Trish Stratus cards? I collect Trish Stratus. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I've got a. You have the butt motion card from 2001. I got basically her rookie card where she's shaking her butt. And I said,
okay.
I have a bunch of those. Like, oh, I don't have that one. What's that going for? And I go, I went back to look at my homework from what I sold from the last few years, and I go, geez, I sold that card anywhere from like, you know, $8 to $60, depending
Wow.
on who's watching and when. But with an average price of 25, $30 a pop. But
Yeah.
it's just a matter of who's watching and when. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially when you do auctions. Like I probably won't ever go back to doing auctions again. I'll probably just do strict buy it nows. And
Okay.
I just kind of dip my toes into kind of being a viewer on the whole whatnot thing. It's like eBay on crack.
Very nice.
And
Yeah.
I think when I officially open up my store here, I'm going to probably be doing whatnot and not eBay at all, because you can actually have a store on whatnot. Then you can do your
Okay.
live, things where it's like 30-second increments of like biddings like that. And it's just very addictive. It really is eBay on crack. And it's just, it looks like a lot of fun. And I'll just do that on my downtime in the store.
No, yeah, for sure. But, I sat through a break the other day on Whatnot. That was the first time I'd ever been on there. It was the select break, and we talked before the show about Give Kids the World of Charity. I
Yep.
worked with them in their Hearts of Reality event. Well, Grayson Waller, who's in NXT now, he's helped out with this charity event too, because he was actually on Australian Survivor. I don't know if people know that. Like, he was on the show Survivor in Australia. That's kind of how he got seen or whatever. So he's been coming to our event. And so I'm trying to buy some of his cards. So when we go to this thing, I'm going to like hand them out to the kids or whatever, and we can give them away or whatever. And so I'm buying in some of these breaks just to see the Grayson Waller cards that come through. Like, how many Grayson Waller cards can you get if you open a case of cards? Like, it should be a good deal, because you pay like $10 a person, and then hopefully you get some good ones or whatever. It's just
How'd you
been
do?
fun. So I think I've done 4 of them. One case I got 1 card, which I know I could have bought for $1. Another time I got 9. Nothing numbered or nothing like that, but I don't think I spent more than $10 anytime. But it's cool. It's just
It's fun now. I mean, someday we're probably gonna see some ARW sets or cards up there probably.
hey man, that again, that would be the highlight. You mentioned your website. A lot of people use that to grade cards and whatever. I'm like, man, if one of these companies would actually grade it, and you could sit there and like hold that, and or like Google on eBay and there's this card, like Paola Mayfield. She was on the television show 90 Day Fiance. She's wrestling in NWA now. We have a card of her in there. I don't think she had a card before. So there's some people that I know there's going to be people that want to get those cards, and I'm like, are people really going to just buy them and, and resell them, or are they going to hang on to them? And,
Never know if it's you got those rookie cards, or first appearance cards.
too, there's a lot of up and comers too in our show that I know haven't had a card, so you never know. Like if one of these guys turns into an MJF 5 years from now or
And that's
something
the,
like
that's the appeal of indie cards that these guys go after, because it's people are really speculating now. You're out there just kind of prospecting who could be the next big star kind of thing. And so people
Sure.
start gobbling up these sets because they're relatively inexpensive, they're
Yeah,
complete, and you never know. So that person, like, well, I got in the ground floor with this person. and became a big star.
I bought some of those GCW spring break from this year because Nick Wayne has a card. You know, he's 17 years old now, or you know,
Yep.
whatever. The sky's the limit for that guy, and you know, I'm like, I better buy this set before they sell out on their website. And
You never know. You just
yeah,
never know. So I think it'd be so cool to see something that you've produced that ends up getting slabbed. And it's cool. I mean, for us, WTC has been around forever. It's like that. It seems like, it's been around, it'll be 20 years this year actually as WTC, but it was been, something else before that. But it's just, it's always cool when someone contacts us and says, hey, I have a card set coming out, blah, blah, blah. How can I get put on your website? And it's like, yeah, you don't have to ask me twice, man. I'd love to have put that card
yeah,
up
I
on your
didn't even
website.
know how that process worked. I think Chuckster helped me with that because I was like, can I just ask you to be on there? Like, you know, I've gone to your website for years to look at things, and I was like, they're gonna put my stuff on there. Like, how cool is this? Like everything is just like falling into place now. Like they want to put me on. Like you look and there's WWE Prism and then Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling Indie
Yeah.
cards. Like it's like wow. So it's been awesome. And
It's so cool because
Mhm.
archiving all these indie card stuff. It's just been so cool, and that was the main focus of us, by the way, when we relaunched the website, moved it over from the old place to the new place, and we had omitted all these sets from 2014, 15ish time up until the current time, and then the pandemic. I don't want to bore people with the story once again, but we learned pretty quickly that what, when we do this, and if we're going to do this, our focus needs to be indie cards. It seems to be the thing that's exploded. People want information about it. And so all that top stuff and now Panini stuff and now Upper Deck stuff, all that stuff is very easily to document and go find, kind of thing, for the most part. But the indie stuff could come, it can go. And if you don't grab it right away, you just don't know the information about it right away. So I wanted to get that right away because I thought that it was, when I found out that grading card companies were using the site as a resource tool to
It's gotta be a
authenticate
great
cards.
feeling right, to like have them tell you that they're
Well,
using your site.
it's a good feeling, and it's also a level of responsibility that I feel that we have now because we've kind of established ourselves that way. They're not really going to other places or selling sites. They're not selling cards. They're not going places on eBay to finding what they're going for the most part. They're going someplace that is this a real card that got made by a real either manufacturer or and it's the hard thing about independent cards now is that it's hard to, like, well, it's not a manufacturer. These are just self-produced, self-made, printed probably either in someone's home or some online service or whatever the
Mhm.
case may be. And so they don't treat them as a valid thing sometimes, but that's changed. And I like to hope and think that WTC putting it on there has helped validate some of these things. Giving them some sort of acknowledgement, as Roman Reigns would say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, sure.
and I think it's proving because you're starting to see companies like CSG taking a real big stride in looking and saying, "Hey, these are cards. We'll grade them,"
Yeah.
and they're
I'm
using the site.
doing that part. And their marketing person, by the way, is amazing.
I
Because on
know,
Twitter,
isn't that great?
like they're into the wrestling card Wednesday. Like, yeah, I mean they're all about it, and they're doing a great job. So
I went up to their booth at the National, and I went and I spoke to the vice president there and it's like that, and been talking with them, potential some stuff coming up, we'll see.
okay,
And then but I said, hey, I don't know who's handling your social media, man, but they're killing it, and
they really are. They
eh,
really are. I try to comment and tell them that they're doing awesome every time I see something. But
comes to find out that their marketing department guy who handles that kind of stuff, like, he's a big wrestling fan.
well, that makes a
So
lot of
that
sense.
makes a lot of sense. And like, okay, that's great. So let's talk. It's been great. So I always appreciate getting people on like yourself who have a passion for the hobby and want to extend that to their promotions and bring something new and cool and creative and collectible for people to go out there and chase, because not everybody's maybe all about the big names, the Paninis and whatnots out there, but they're independent kind of guys. Like, I like that niche. That's my niche kind of thing. And it's a very popular segment of our hobby now. And so it's always
Yeah.
cool to see guys like you going like, you know what? We need a card set for our promotion. Let's get that ARW set out now.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely something I've thought about at least for a year. I think we've been working on it for almost 4 months and it was like, all right, we're done. Wait, no, we got to add. Now we got to add another one. Now we got to add another one. Or this picture is now better than the one I had before, so now I got to switch something up. And I got to apologize to Ryzen for all the work I made him do, because he was very, very good with the graphics and everything. But I know I probably like, like, sorry, man, I just one more change, because this one's, I got to make sure the set is perfect when it comes out. But
well, these cards look badass, man. I can't wait for the set to come out.
I really appreciate it.
I recommend everybody, man. Where can they find to buy these at?
Yeah, so the website is arwmerch.com. So arwmerch.com. They're on there. You can buy one pack or two. There's you save $5, I think, if you buy, 2 sets or something like that. But again, there's only going to be 200. We are not reprinting them ever. Each wrestler again will be given 50. So if you don't want to buy the whole set and you just want to reach out to any of these people, I'm sure you can do that through their social media once they get the cards as well. And
which is such an awesome way that fans can help support those independent wrestlers as well too, to get out there.
And again, that's the coolest thing I thought about that Raw Deal Indie card, because they were helping out the talent. It's like, wow, they weren't going to make any money tonight, and now this guy sold 10 cards at $5 a piece that paid for his gas to drive back.
Absolutely. And on social media, where can everybody find you, connect with you, if not to the website?
Sure. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at the Promo Pete. Used to do some radio in Orlando, so I was Promo Pete for a long time. And
Promo Pete.
That's it.
I'll have you do some voice work for me or something someday.
Hey man, anytime.
Well, Pete, I really appreciate your time coming on, talking about this cool new card set. Anytime someone who's doing independent card sets wants to talk about their card sets, I'd love to give them some spotlight and share their stuff. I can't wait to get it added to the website. Obviously, we'll talk offline, and hopefully I can get the official checklist, get that going.
Absolutely.
We don't have it up there yet, right? We don't have it up there yet.
I think you might have it up there. I'll have to double check, but yeah, it will be very soon. If not, check it out.
I'm checking right now, folks, because this is not. You know what? I think we do have it up there already. No, we do. We already have it up there.
There you go. Look at that. Yeah,
we got the full 36 card set and all of this information. Look, I'm talking out of my ass, folks. What I'm looking forward to also is getting the images so we can get them all linked up. So someday,
or the cards come in, obviously, I'll get one out to you so that you got it there.
Yeah, usually Chuckster gives me all that stuff. He scans everything and sends it over to me, and then I get the wonderful job of cropping and editing every single image.
Okay, well, you guys do an amazing job. So thank you, first of all, for having us on the website and on your show. I've used your website as a resource forever, and I watch your show all the time. So being on here is really an honor. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. And anytime you guys are putting out content, keeping the site alive.
Thank you. And again, I got just one more time. I got to plug Ryzen again. Thank you for doing all the graphics, man. And Tusslemania, if you're not following him on Instagram and Twitter, best photographer around, period. And of course, Queen Shauna Photography. She did a great job too. So thank you all. I couldn't have done it without them. This does take a team, and I have an awesome team. So thank you, everybody.
That's awesome, man. And for us, WTC, you can find everything on WrestlingTradingCards.com.